Oh, brothers and sisters, I'm Amos Mohammed Dilou Sirleaf from West Africa, Liberia. Oh, I'm a blackologist, a professor of black cultural science. I graduated from Fairview AM University, Texas. I got a Bachelor of Science degree in Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice. I got a Master's degree in Sociology and Social Work. I'm presently working on my doctoral program in African Studies. I'm here this afternoon to enlighten your minds on some of the significant and philosophical exploration of the black cultural science that we are presently undertaking. The significance of black solidarity through black cultural science becomes absolutely imperative for any group of people who tenaciously aspire to build the sense of ethnic solidarity and positive progression. I wish to intellectualize herein that truth often has its own official tastes, that man of truth should not be ambiguous in his expression, for ambiguity leads to unconformity. Black cultural science has prehistorically manifested itself through black popularist manifesto significant to black fruitfulness and dynamism. The uniqueness of this science cannot be traced for any part of the world other than the third world countries, specifically Africa. The enemies of this magnanimous culture vis-a-vis the Europeans attempted some degree of misfit to smuggle the black cultural science from Africa through pseudo act of good deeds. But their persistent efforts to do so were of no avail. The enemies are capable of denying the blacks every social materialism intrinsically, but not their entities. The fact that we are black is the source of inspiration which manifests the uniqueness and commitment to our struggle for the total liberation of all oppressed people in our one world. I cannot relent in criticizing our common antagonist. If I offer these timid criticism, it is only because perfection is not a human virtue, much less a virtue in young authors, nor are the criticism want to distract from the virtue of this article. Indeed, this article contains such abundance of riches that the greatness attribute I can pay is to lay down my pen and stop standing behind it and the readers. The significance of black solidarity through black cultural science hypothesized our purpose in recognizing our African heritage. As people, history has taught us all that will continue to teach us that united we stand, divided we fall. And so, blackology might be conceptualized in a unique aspect to testify the needs of those blacks who aspire good will and common understanding for the promotion of this unique science. This science also portrays UMOJO in the Swahili language, unity, as a source of our inspiration in reconstruction of our unique scientific and cultural studies, which are inextricably bounded by our one race. I'm cognizant of the difficulties that you might sustain in understanding the essence of blackology to advocate its importance to to all black people. But do not at any moment fail to know that the independence of our own talent has had its enemies. Imperialism and new colonialism, their agents and stooges, have not been our friends. They have tried and persist on trying in many ways to undo our good efforts in uniting ourselves as black people. In this light, some of our own have taken the role of scapegoatism, but we might not relent our efforts in educating those brothers and sisters because we are united in one complexity. Decentralization of Africa might be one of our cry because our forefathers of Africa liberation left the job unfinished. So we might, as youth, take over the revolution and carry it forward. For the youth has great and highly leadership, but grow through a revolutionary struggle and emulation. Every young and old black man and woman might not fail to remember these African heroes from past and present. They are as follows: Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, father of Pan-Africanism and the United States of Africa, but died before his plan was realized. Dr. Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, an expert in the usage of African science through African liberation from colonialism, the science of Mau Mau, Kenya. The late Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, the father of African leadership. President Ahmad Sekou Touré of Guinea, the father of Organization of African Unity, OAU. Young Comrade Asker Isha Mohammed Delos, young Comrade Walter Krauss, father of BlacSolidarity, established in Peruvian University. Africa have had many freedom fighters that could not be mentioned, only few, but not to leave out our comrade Nelson Mandela and his wife Winnie Mandela of South Africa, and Victor Sutulu, and many other brothers and sisters. These brothers have died, but their spirit lives on. We as young people, as I said, might take over the struggle. For the struggle, no matter how intensified it is, we cannot relent. We must remember that civilization began in Africa, and that the very first school and university in the world were established in Africa before the one in Europe. Some of our people are not aware that Africa has better big buildings than the one in New York, even in Europe. For they were not built for commercial purposes, but durable human consumption. Africa has farms like found in most European nations. Africa has a natural fertilized land that does not need an artificial fertilization. Be proud to know that you are great. Great grandmother, great grandfather were very rich and were scientists in the world. Be proud that your forefathers and mothers were kings, queens, and governors of countries that had their own justice system for all. Be proud that human government strategies were first established in Africa. Africa is our continent, just like Europe are originally for Europeans, Chinese for China, Japanese for Japan, etc. All people have their own land. There is no black land, Negro land, color land. All black people are Africans. We Africans were the first one to use soap, water, toilet tissues. This is very difficult. This is sound very naive in the ears of those imperialist black people. But I might say it. We are the ones who invented medicine, arts, culture, languages, physics, mathematics, and astrology. We are black people. African people gave the world songs, dances, music, and clothes, religion and philosophies. We African black people were the first to explore the world and the last to try and conquer it. It was the Europeans who invaded Africa and enslaved us. But we have been fighting back. We will continue to fight back. With all black people effort, we will win. We will win. We will win. God, Allah is our side. Africa is the second largest continent in the world, the richest in the world, yet we Africans, black, are the poorest in the world. Over 90% of the world's gold, silver, diamond, oil, uranium, chromium, zinc are African. Iron ore, but originally stolen from African by Europeans, making them rich today. We must fight through black own cultural science study and solidarity to unite and conquer our own common enemies. Africans must unite. Black solidarity and the decentralization of Africa and its scientific culture must be our goals. BlacSolidarity must be embedded into all black institutions of learning and cultural science. The black should portray. Salute Comrade Walter Cross for his persuasive endeavors to make black people to understand that the significance of black through BlacSolidarity. We as young people must listen to one another, for leadership are in the youth but are in disguise. The young Comrade Walter Cross started the grassroots political, scientific, culture through black solidarity at Peruvian University, but many people did not understand his philosophy. But I was the first to join him because I understood what he was talking about by virtue of my race as black man. So I started staging crusades to other brothers, Ibarisa, Kabiru, and other brothers like Dwayne. All of them join us in the struggle. Today, we hope to join our wives, Sister Tikua Cross, Sister Mary, Sirleaf. All of these people are product of BlacSolidarity. So we salute them with militancy, and we say that the struggle goes on undefined. We might fight, die, but hope to live to fight. Thanks. In continuation of our concept of black cultural scientists, I wish to say that it was not an error on the part of the Creator to divide our world, giving one continent named Africa, giving one Europe, and giving one Asia, and giving the rest as originally divided by our exploiter, colonizer. The people of the African race, it is surmised and believed scientifically that they are the origin of mankind. This is true. History has taught us to know, but it can only be deniable by those who have oppressed us, the Europeans. But I will continue to say that we should not relent on the fact that blackness is a spirit in itself, that we have had a tradition that is embedded within our makeups. God made us black, and we should appreciate that. I've had a problem explaining situation to my African brothers in Africa. I have made them to understand that our problems are synonymous with the problems of all oppressed people in our one world. Black in the United States suffer the same oppressive system under the white colonialism in the Western Hemisphere as we suffer in the hands of the same imperialist domination in Africa. Realizing the perpetual struggle all over our land, there comes a time we think in unity that we should solidify our effort, war hands in hands on the common ground to embrace ourselves to fight our enemy in one world. Black power was the cry of the people in the 60s, specifically in America. OAU, Organization of African Unity, was the cry of our brothers and sisters in Africa. These two powerful philosophies should come together and it should be backed by us black people, but because of young people who managed to have learned the white man's tongue, English, and to have gone to the white man's school, learn his book. We have greater advantage to teach our brothers and sisters the white man's tongue. They only have one way to talk, that is English. And we Africans have a whole lot of different languages that we can communicate in, boycotting the progressiveness, the pseudo progressiveness of the white man. Also, in fact, moving through the Mao doctrine to capture him. So, I have come out to say that if we ostracize ourselves from our African American brothers in the Western Hemisphere, we will be doing harm to ourselves only to listen to the white man come down overnight with his white teeth and black hat and red blood tested to fool us that there can be no unity among you all, but because of those who in the Western Hemisphere. And this is live. Malcolm X told us that. He went to Liberia, he went to Africa in 1968 when he visited Kwame Nkrumah. He did not stop that far. He went to Egypt and he came back and made the brothers and sisters to understand in America that whatsoever the white man had told them that the Africans do not like the African American in the United States were false. There were some pseudo barricades, pseudo artificial barriers that were being erected by the white man to get involved into the doctrine of divide and conquer. And a young revolutionary, I would fight to see that black people everywhere in the world get their freedom. And we can only do this through unity, through the salutation of the coming of the one world, through the crusade of black cultural science called BlacSolidarity. We will cry and permeate the doctrine of BlacSolidarity in all the black institutions of learning as we are about to begin our doctoral programs at Howard, black dominated institution in Washington, D.C. We hope to unite in the greater number so as to promote these studies, because the study is significant. The study of BlacSolidarity is not only parallel to the lifespans of black people, but it is contaminant to his existence. If you see BlacSolidarity, you see yourself. If you see yourself, you see your life. So they are indivisible. So we are asking black people everywhere to join us. We are not ostracizing mankind from the studies. If the white man will join us in the promotion, in the projection of the black cultural science, he is welcome, she is welcome. If he can stand to assimilate within our culture, you're 100% welcome. But if we observe any imperialistic tendency in him, in subverting, bringing covert maneuver in our midst, I will kill him. For the white man is an enemy, told you why in sleep and why alive. I'm not the only one to say this. Good people have seen the doctrine of white folks and they know it. I'm a man of peace in defense of self. I'm a Muslim, an African. I'm from the Sub-Sahara, West Africa. I believe in the black race, I believe in the human race, but I believe in our types. I believe in all mankind and have hope in our type. In the life of man, we came to understand that in order for man to migrate, in order for man to progress, man will migrate. When we are across his family and my family graduated from Peruvian University, we decided to migrate to Howard University in Washington, D.C. Therefore, we started changing different entities. So personally, we live in Washington, D.C. and as one family, we have one address, we live in one root. This is the way of African. We believe in the communal system, we believe in brotherhood of man. We share our communal system. So we have one common emblem, common sign of recognition, so-called address. So to get in touch with us, I will once more say that I'm Amos Mohammed Dilu Sirleaf, and our address is 4300 Vermilion Avenue, number 1016, Oxon Hill, Maryland, 20745. Our telephone number is 301-894-5128. 894-5128. We speak in what we call in the legal aspect in caption or in edition. We lecture the stage by stage. Before school opens, Brother Clark will be lecturing to the freshman orientation on the doctoral program before Ramadan. Matter of fact, Kwanzaa, maybe he will be speaking to a group of young black on the Kwanzaa celebration, maybe at Howard or maybe Peru somewhere, but the schedule has not yet come out. And after that, we again seek another schedule where I may be lecturing, but we always get in touch with us as we all get in touch with us. On behalf of the crosses, the Sirleaf, I would wish to extend my sincere thanks and felicitation to you all for listening to me. And I wish to bring you the word of peace in the Islam language. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah, asyhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. The end of this year 1989 to the new year 1990, we as sons and daughters of black land, inspired by the Almighty Allah, whose power that manifested the knowledge to create the science of a unique culture of BlacSolidarity. Our resolution, therefore, should be that will bear witness and allegiance to our commitment and objective to the undertaking of this science. Failure on our part will lead us to another new colonial servitude, while we face big difficulties on and on in our life. We might always bear in mind that nobody can help us most than we can help ourselves. The greatest and the hardest task that we face as black people is to be able to unite. This is what I do not know. Why is it that unity is the hardest job for black people? Look at the Europeans are uniting their continent today. The Asians are uniting the Asian countries today. There's many Africans that will not love themselves through unity, will not love their continent being united, but they like to stand and watch other people unite themselves, but to fight and divide their African heritage, their African value, and destroy their African continent. Is this the way of the Almighty Allah, or is it just the way of inhumane tendency of man being his own enemy? Why his life should be this way? I cannot blame on us as being the root cause of our own problems. However, imperialism should be blamed 100%. But we are young people and educated people who in the midst of our own tradition should be soldiers of liberation. Should be the one to tell our forefathers, our old people, that our enemies are those who that are not looking like us by race. And I would not say to anybody that I'm not a racist. I am a racist. If you could understand the word racism, you will get to know that man who takes his race to be superior. So I feel that my race is superior. Therefore, I look at any other race to be inferior. Henceforth, I'm a racist. You know, when I said I'm a racist, I do not just speak through such an emotional constraint. I speak through perceptive connotation. That is, I speak with evidence. Somewhere I read in the European textbook giving themselves some first preference by saying that they were ethnocentric. They believe in ethnocentric perception. That means that they believe that their culture is more unique, their culture is the more renowned and more superior culture than any other culture. So therefore, I would not be wrong when I say that I'm a racist. Therefore, I say that Afrocentric perception is the more superior perception that I can see. So if there should be any war declared between or among races connotation, therefore I wish to take the struggle and to fight until the last breath of me can be passed away, because I cannot just sit to witness people playing with our emotions, black people. And so I've come out here this evening through peace to reiterate that I would not go out with a fallacy that I'm delusional, I'm not a racist. No, I'm not afraid of any man. I'm not even afraid of God. I respect God. He made me sensitive enough, He made me knowledgeable enough to question His creation, to question some of the situations that are going on. And so I'm not afraid of Him. I'm not afraid of no man. I respect all men.